Now, it's no secret that dealing with difficult clients can be a real pain, but don't worry, in this video I'm going to share with you some tips on how to handle them and avoid any potential headaches. By the end of it, you'll know how to handle their objections, set their expectations correctly, and know when it's time to walk away from a project. Before we get started, if you guys could just promise me one thing, if you get any value from any one of these points, please hit that subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, then leave a comment to let me know what one was your favorite point. So first up, you guys need to establish clear expectations from the start of the project. This doesn't matter what industry you're in. Most problems with dealing with difficult clients come because they have one expectation and what they're being told or what is the reality is completely different. Therefore, that's going to make them feel like they're getting a lesser of a service and they're going to be annoyed with you. So you need to map out clearly exactly what they're going to be getting to manage their expectations, and even use other videos to help showcase, hey, your video is going to look like this, or, you know, we've come up with this problem, here's how it's going to be changed, and make sure that they're just aware of those expectations from the very beginning. That leads into tip number 2, which is to keep a clear communication and frequent communication throughout the whole project. We apply the 3 C's of marketing here to be clear, concise, and consistent. We have systems within our business to make sure that every client we deal with follows through a protocol to make sure that we're always looking after them and there's that clear sense of communication. We sometimes set up WhatsApp groups as well so that we can deal with them better, but again, we set their expectations at the start. We'll only be available from 9 to 5 to talk about your project, etc., etc. Now, if there's any updates or any changes to your project, then always just make sure they're the first to know. They will assume they're going to get their video back tomorrow or the day after the shoot if you don't handle their expectations and keep that clear communication all the way through. If you run into a problem, perhaps Premiere Pro isn't exporting quick enough, then again, make sure you let the client know and give them an update so that they're always kept in the loop. That's what most people who have problems and difficult clients, that's all they ask for. They just ask to be kept in the loop. Now, number 3 is exercising some self-control here. You need to be patient and keep professional even when the client is being difficult. Trust me, it can be very easy to lose your cool with them and start to really fight back. And that's not going to be good for your relationship. One of the skills that most humans lack is just the ability to listen, especially when you're in a bit of a heated debate with a client. You're going to want to fight back on why they can't have a certain thing, or it will feel like they're personally attacking you and your business, so you feel like you need to stand up for that. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just be patient, listen to what they have to say, and then address it in a very professional and relaxed, calm manner. And hey, I'm not saying I'm a saint here as well. I've definitely found myself in these situations before, and it is difficult, but it's something that if you can at least remember a couple of these points that I'll give you today, that will really make a big difference. Tip 4 is to ask them to write down exactly what they want. So if there's been a miscommunication or you're not 100% sure of what the client wants, and we've had this in the past where a client has said they wanted something, they've shown us a video that showcases what they want. We've created it identically and the client said, no, that's not what I want. And we're like, well, how else can we possibly deliver this thing? So we then ask them to write down exactly where they think that we've gone wrong and what we can do about it, or what needs to be changed. Once you receive an email or a piece of paper that says that information on it, it sometimes makes it a lot easier to understand, and also gives you a bit of time to process what they're saying rather than trying to think about what they're saying and come up with a solution in a time frame to then tell them that, give them that answer there and then, okay? Now, for most of our shoots, we actually have a debrief at the end of the shoot where we grab a piece of paper or a notepad or an iPad and we write down exactly what the plan of action is from this shoot, because of course you might have planned for a beautiful sunny shoot and it's raining, so you've had to adapt the plan. Make sure there's written communication so that the client is up to date with what the new process is and what the new video is going to be like, and also what you're expected to deliver. They might have asked you to produce 1 or 2 smaller videos from that day. You might have said yes, but if you get back to the office and forget about it, then that's only going to look bad on you. So we now do a debrief where we write everything down, what's expected of us, so when we leave that shoot, we have a clear foundation of where we're going next, and the client is aware of any changes to their project. Remember, we're putting all of these measures in place so we can keep the client, even when they get disgruntled. We've had this a lot of times where we've had to de-escalate situations, and very serious situations at that, and we've been able to keep that client on side and work with them time and time again so that we can keep their overall client value. It provides value to our business, and because we've become better at this system of dealing with problematic clients and expectation handling, then we've been able to work with them on a much better, a much easier going project the next time around. Tip number 5 is to meet deadlines wherever possible and continually update them. We often will tell our clients at the end of the shoot when they can expect the deadline to be given our workload, or we'll confirm that the day after the shoot. When we're doing the initial call with them, we'll find out how quick they need it, if they have any deadlines, and if the answer to that is no, then we'll give them some sort of ballpark figure, but we'll be able to confirm that after the shoot so they know where we're up to. If anything changes due to workload, someone's off ill or something happens, then just update them. That's all they want to know, just keep them in the loop. Sometimes these things are outside of your control. Tip number 6 is the 3-hour rule. Now, I appreciate that not all circumstances will be able to utilize this. However, find yourself in this situation where a client emails you a pretty horrible email saying that they really don't like your video for whatever reason, etc., etc. Now, what I would usually do is, if I feel confident to do it, I'll pick up the phone straight away and I'll call them and get to ask them the questions on what do they feel like they need changing. Is it the actual shots themselves? Do we need to do a reshoot? Or is it anything that's just to do with the editing and we can quickly resolve that? Generally speaking, if they don't like the video, a lot of the time it's just to do with the way the edit's been put together. We fortunately don't have much experience in this, but there have been 1 or 2 occasions in my whole history where that has been an issue, and it normally always comes down to the editing process where we can just then make those changes and get back on track. We've never actually had to do a full reshoot, touch wood. Now, sometimes their emails can be very blunt and it can really make you feel emotional and angry and really frustrated. Now, this is where you apply that 3-hour rule. Take 3 hours before you reply to that email. I promise you, I've written out so many emails where I've taken their email one way and I've written out this thing and putting them right. Now I'm going to tell them, I'm going to show them why they can't have this and why they can't do this. And then I've waited and thought, you know, I'm going to give that a second and I'll go back to it later. I go back to it and I reread their email and I think, oh my God, I am so glad I didn't send my email. I have totally misjudged what they were getting at. And that has happened more times than I would like to admit. And that's where this 3-hour rule can come in really handy. Just taking some time before you reply. Let yourself process it and don't let that emotion come first. Start to let your logic attack it and try and see it from their side as well. If you're having a conversation with them and you don't know the answer to something and they're firing loads of negative questions or objections at you, just say, look, I'm going to go away from here. I'm going to have a think about these and I'll get back to you, because then I'll be able to think clearer and you're going to get a better answer and a better response and a plan moving forward. So remember, you can always take time. You have the power. Now, before we move on to the final 2 tips, if you're enjoying this and you've got any value, remember what I said at the start, please press that subscribe button. We're trying to grow this community as much as we can. I would love to think we could eventually get to 20,000 subscribers. That would be absolutely awesome. And if you're already in the community, then let me know if any of these you've been guilty of doing or not doing and what ones you found the most value of. So tip number 7. You need to be aware of times where you're going round in circles. I'm sure that you've experienced this at some point where you're in a meeting or a conversation with a friend even, and you're just talking, you're going around in a negative spiral all the time, and you just find yourself finishing a point, them coming up with the same objection that leads you to making the same point, then they have another objection which leads you to making the same point, and around you go. That's not healthy, and it's just wasteful of everyone's time. As soon as you realize what's happening, I now just say, look, let's leave it here for now. Let's go away and think about it, and then I'll come back and we can kind of, touch base on this, because at the moment we're just going around in circles. Just address that head on. Avoid doing that, because it only gets them more wound up, you get more wound up, and it wastes everyone's time. So just be aware of when that's happening. Now, tip number 8 is to remember that you're in charge and don't let the clients walk all over you. Working with businesses has to be a relationship, so there has to be some compromise and it has to be win-win from both parts. If someone feels like they're not winning, then it's not going to be a very healthy relationship. Now, due to the nature of dealing with difficult clients, it's not going to be a nice experience. And after mentoring hundreds of students within the academy and my own experiences as well, sometimes clients can just get quite nasty quite quick. And remember, you started your business so you didn't have to take crap from someone else, right? So don't allow that client to walk all over you. Sometimes there has to be that give and take. It is a relationship, and sometimes you will have to over-deliver, and sometimes you'll be able to under-deliver too. However, if you really feel like this isn't healthy and you don't want to be working with this person, then no amount of money is worth that. Remember why you signed up to having your own business and stick to your guns and know when it's time to walk away from a project. And if you do decide to sack your clients and you need some new ones, then I suggest you watch this video, and it's going to show you some of the strategies we use to grow our business. Till next time, peace.